Okay, I'm going to do a quick one about a pet peeve of mine that I'm sure plenty of you are sick of hearing me say, and that is swimming through your curls. So, if we're driving the puck forward and an opponent gets in our way and we curl, human nature is to kind of stop and say, okay, I'm safe. I turned away from that guy. But the problem is you stopped the entire forward flow of the play. So any teammates that were coming forward are now kind of out of sync with you. And this back did what they wanted to do. They turned you away. They stopped you. If you stop right here and their forward's doing their job, they can pick you. And this also allows, if their backs were a little bit back on their heels, it allows them to reset. It basically slows our attack down. Now, we still want to maintain possession, so turning might have been the right thing to do, but if you simply kick through your curl and come through this way, that allows us, first of all, you've maintained possession. If you're out of air, you've got your head up, you can see you might have a back here, you might have a back here, you might have a forward out here that was on the other side of this guy that you couldn't get to before. And so this opens everything up, keeps the flow of the offense going, and importantly, keeps them reacting and back on their heels. I think most experienced players would agree that having possession of the puck tends to allow us to play with a little bit more poise, a little bit more control, since we're directing where it goes, and our air seems to be better. Whereas if you're back on your heels and you're chasing and you're being attacked and you're trying to figure out which way they're going, you tend to be a little bit more anxious and tight, and your air's not as good as well. And so it basically benefits us to be able to just swim through that curl and look for help. I cannot tell you how many times I've watched from the back a forward go running up here, basically one man to beat. They legitimately turn them away, and that back turns or that forward turns and stops and dies in the curl. Yeah, you might toss it off to the back if they're following you appropriately, but oftentimes they may not be there yet. They may have just come up, and this back can attack, and this forward can attack. And if they would have just swam through their curl, first of all, most of the time they can just score the goal themselves, because this back, as soon as you start to curl, he's either going to follow you around, which puts him out of position, or he's going to figure he stopped you and come up. If there's still backs out here, again, you have other opportunities of passes that you can make. And I can tell you, when I've been attacking and gone forward and swam through a curl, and I see somebody like Adam or Nick charging through like that on my team, there's just nothing better than dumping it off to them. And these backs that I've softened up by my attack have to deal with that now. And that scores a lot of goals as well. So there are a few instances where it's appropriate, maybe along the wall when we're being attacked, and you curl and you stop and you're using that wall as another, as an advantage to keep your defender away from you. But that should be a conscious decision, that you're choosing not to swim out of your curl. The default should be to swim out of your curl. And what I would suggest is when you're practicing curls, either in a game or maybe if you're doing some drills beforehand, is to make it a rule that no curl ends without at least 2 kicks after you've curled. That will help train it into habit and muscle memory, because right now your default is to curl and stop. That's just everybody's default muscle memory. So you have to train yourself to swim through that curl and make that what a curl is to you. That needs to be, when you decide to do a curl, it's not over till you've at least kicked a couple of times. And then again, if you get into this position, you can say, okay, in this case, I'm not going to kick through because I'm using that wall. That's a rare instance, but for the vast majority of times, especially in the open court and especially when we're attacking, swimming out of that curl is going to be more beneficial for us, and I promise you it will open up your game. So I would encourage you all to do it.